Today in lesson 13, I moved my lessons around. I was supposed to teach interquartile range today. However, I went to the creation of a box and whisker plot first. So I'm going to give two problems for you in today's video, and you can use them to help you study on how to do box and whisker plots. In order to successfully complete a box and whisker plot, the first thing you need to do is order your data from least to greatest. Okay? Hopefully you're seeing me model crossing out the numbers as I'm putting it in order. Okay? This has 8 numbers. We're dealing with an even data set. Okay? So after you've ordered the numbers from least to greatest, the first thing to do when creating a box and whisker plot is to find the median. So I always encourage my students to go from the left to the right, until they get to the middle. In this instance, I have 2 middles. Just by common sense, I know the middle in between 4 and 5 is 4.5, okay? But I'm going to show you mathematically that if you add 4 plus 5 together and then divide by the 2 numbers that you added, you have proof here that the middle of those 2 numbers is 4.5. I'm actually going to draw a line in between that and put 4.5 here. This is our median. 4 is not our median. 5 is not our median. So I'm going to cross them out. Okay? Now that I found my median, I have split my data into 2 sides. The lower half and the upper half. Okay? I'm going to find the middle of the upper half of my data first. I'm again going to cross out left to right, but notice how I make an X shape to see now that I'm going in a different avenue. Now I have 2 middles. Again, same thing. 6 plus 8 is 14. 14 divided by 2 is 7. So my upper middle is going to be 7, and I'm going to X these out since those were not my median of the upper half of the data. This is called the upper quartile, or quartile 3. Now I'm going to find the median of my lower half of the data. Left, right. Okay, I notice now that I have 2 middles. 3 plus 3 is 6. 6 divided by 2 is 3. This is the median of my lower half of my data. Didn't use those. Or my lower quartile, or quartile 1. Okay, I'm going to change this. I'm actually going to cross out range, and I'm going to make this a 5-point summary. Okay, I'm going to add the words lower and upper extremes. Okay? From what we just did, the process, we have created a 5-number summary. Okay? The lower extreme is the lowest point of your data. That's going to be 2. The upper extreme is the highest point of your data, and that's going to be 9. So those are 2 of the 5. The first quartile is the first middle that you run into. That is going to be 3. The second quartile, or the median, is going to be 4.5. And the third quartile, or the third median here, is 7. And this has created our 5-point summary. Now let me show you how to graph that on a number line to make a box and whisker plot. The first thing I always do is I always do the median first. At 4.5, I'm going to draw a vertical line. Then I'm going to draw a vertical line at both my upper and lower middles. My lower middle is 3. My upper middle is 7. I'm going to connect these vertical lines to make my box. This box represents 50% of my data. Okay? Now I'm going to put a dot at the lower extreme and a dot at the upper extreme and draw whiskers to my box. Hence the box and whisker plot. Okay? You have just separated the data into 4 sections. 1, 2, 3, 4. Each section has a value of 25%. Okay? Let's try another example. Problem 2. Okay, this one's going to be a little different. I wonder if you can catch on from the first one. First step again is to order the data from least to greatest. Okay? Now I'm going to change my pen color. After I've ordered it from least to greatest, now I'm going to go left, right, until I find the middle or the median. This set of data is different because you had an odd number of numbers. So you are going to have just one median of 6. Now, when I find the middle of my lower half of data, I do not have to include the 6 because this 6 is actually my middle. I'm going to go left to right, and I'm going to have 2 middles here. 2 plus 4 is 6. 6 divided by 2 is 3. And then I'm going to cross these out with an X to make sure I know these are not my medians. This is Q1 for your lower quartile. Now I'm going to do the same thing, left, right. I have 2 middles here. 8 plus 8 is 16. And 16 divided by 2 is 8. Okay, and then I'm going to use my pen to make sure that all my values have been X'd out correctly. So let's go through the 5-point number summary of my data. I always like to start with lower and upper extremes because those are easy. And it's good to tackle something easy first. The lower extreme is 2. The upper extreme, in this case, is 8. My first quartile is 3. That's the first median if you order your data least to greatest. Your second quartile, or your actual median of the data, is 6. Your third quartile is 8. Okay? Now I'm going to start by graphing this on my number line. I always start, like I said, with the median is 6. The first quartile is 3. The third quartile is 8. This is where 50% of my data lies, in these 2 boxes. The lower extreme is 2, so I'm going to put a dot with some whiskers. And this is kind of weird because your upper extreme is the same as our third quartile, but if you look at the data here, this repetition of 8 definitely explains why. So I hope you enjoyed this video on how to complete a box in a whisker plot. If you're watching this with Educanon, a couple of questions will pop up. Thank you for watching.